Maddox. I'm your biggest fan.
For over 20 years, I've run one of the longest-running humor sites on the internet. I've published books, worked on TV shows, and even video games. Along the way, I've met thousands of fans. Most of them have been awesome, but some, unfortunately, have become obsessed and tried to get into my personal life. This is the story of what happens when fans become stalkers.
Maddox and that.
Maddox.
At one point early on in all of this drama, Fanboy's followers made a list of women who they thought should be raped and left for dead. Or to be specific, these were women who they would laugh and smile about if they were brutally raped and left for dead. They posted this thread on 8chan on a board made for his show, and they put one of my personal friends on the list as well as the girl I was dating at the time. Then they doxed her on the forums and posted a link on Fanboy's subreddit that he and his frequent co-host at the time, Asterios Kokkinos, were moderators of. This was part of the reason I decided to finally release my first and only significant public statement after months of slander and obsession, way back when I first cut ties with this stalker, and even then it was only a short 3.5-minute video. At this point, we need to go over a quick timeline of events so things will make sense in chronological order, because some of the stuff happened back in 2016, which seems insane to still be talking about. But that's exactly what this is. Insane. I've never had a stalker this obsessed, and half a decade later, here we are. So, here's how it got to this point. Fanboy was caught lying and talking behind my back in May of 2016. The podcast ended 4 days later when he went on vacation instead of recording the final episode. A few days later, Randy gave me the go-ahead to transfer the feed. Then Fanboy falsely claimed I deleted the website. Then from June to August, the stalker escalated his attacks week after week, slandering my network, my sponsors, and me. At first, it was just talking shit about their products, which he had never used, but then on August 27th, he escalated even further. That's when this stalker took it from just talking shit about my sponsors to personally harassing them on Twitter. It would be one of many times he personally harassed my sponsors. This tweet was the inciting incident. This escalation is one of the main reasons I decided to finally say something. Then 2 days later, a link was posted to the 8chan thread with the rape list on the stalker's official subreddit. Enough was enough, and that's when I decided to make a public statement. But before I went public, I made a last-ditch effort and personally told one of his moderators and co-hosts at the time, Asterios Kokkinos, about the rape list on his subreddit in the hopes that he would delete the post. Asterios is a self-proclaimed male feminist. So surely, a male feminist would step in and do the right thing and remove the link to a rape list on a forum he was a moderator of, right? Wrong. He not only didn't delete the link to the rape list, but he doubled down and even promoted Fanboy's show with his likeness, making over 47 appearances.
Great, it's all fun and games until a dyslexic girl is raped.
I don't think we can top that.
Wow, what a feminist. So, after I exhausted all my options, and 2 days after I pleaded with the good boy of comedy, the male feminist Asterios Kokkinos, I finally decided to make a public statement. It was a short, unlisted video that was just 3.5 minutes long, where I simply addressed some of the false claims that the stalker had made about me. One of his grievances against me was that I edited episodes, even though he does the same. But hypocrisy aside, I wanted to address the criticism and show people exactly the kind of stuff I would edit from the episodes. Here's the clip I played in the video.
Really upsets me that responsibility isn't put on her. We're telling people this.
I do want to add something just to the last point you made, which is they said that we should stop telling women that it's their responsibility to protect themselves.
It is.
Well, to an extent, yes.
100%
No,
it is.
Dick, it's not.
Dude,
You're
yes,
a
it
fucking
is.
bullshit. No,
No.
if you pass out drunk at a party or whatever, you shouldn't expect to get raped.
Yes, you fucking should.
Oh, dude, big foul. No, you can't say that's fucking bullshit. That's absolutely bullshit.
After my video came out, one of the first things Fanboy did was threaten to sue me.
Potentially defamation.
Potentially defamation. What are the criteria of defamation. Just so because I've emailed some lawyers, but I haven't heard anything back from them.
This is ironic because he spread the video much further than I ever did. In fact, remember earlier when I said that I made a honeypot to prove that he didn't have millions of listeners? Well, I made the video unlisted and embedded it on my website with a password that was a hashtag, knowing that if he shared it on Twitter, it could start trending. I deliberately made it a hashtag and never posted it myself on Twitter, not even once. In fact, I only posted it in public one time on a small Facebook page for my old podcast, and one time on my private Facebook page to let my close personal friends know what was going on. I did this in part to avoid giving the stalker any more attention than necessary because that's what he wants. Anything I would do or say about him would be an opportunity for him to promote himself. How do I know? Because even though I didn't share my video a single time on Twitter, he did, at least 4 times. And despite the fact that he shared it over 4 times, he never got it trending, not even close. He fell for my honeypot and inadvertently exposed how small his reach was. Oops. But despite the fact that he spread my video much further than I ever intended, he immediately painted himself as a victim. When he was asked if he knew about the 8chan board, he lied and said no one knew about it.
I'm a liar.
Well, that's funny because on August 29th, 1 month before I released my video, the person who made the board sent it to him. And I know for a fact he saw this tweet. How do I know? Because he responded to it. And what did he say? Did he admonish them or ask them to take it down? No. In fact, he responded and said, "I'm there." But after my video came out, he tried to distance himself from it, saying that he's never even typed in the URL for 8chan before.
Never, ever, ever have I gone up to the URL and typed in 8chan.
Okay.
Well, that's funny because he links to it on his website.
Yeah, I'm a really amazing liar.
Then, Fanboy really turned up the theatrics with the lying and denying. He acted shocked that I even dared to suggest that his followers would make such a list.
It has nothing to do with the Dick Show.
Is that what people think?
He went on and on trying to distance himself from this list, saying anyone could have made the list. He even implied at one point that I could have made the list in an effort to frame him.
Is it possible for anyone to have made this page?
Yes, of course.
So, by anyone, that could include Maddox?
No, yeah. Anybody could have made this. No, I'm completely fucking shocked because this is in no way tied to the show. The idea that it's tied somehow to this sick site that is in no way related or endorsed by this show is malicious.
Oh my God, he's shocked. Even the mere suggestion that it had anything to do with him or his followers was malicious of me. To even suggest that he was responsible for inciting a hate mob week after week that resulted in a rape list just isn't possible. Wow, I guess I really screwed up. Unless, well, this is gonna sound crazy, but what if it actually was created by his followers? And not just any followers, but some of his very few and very dedicated longtime followers. And they came forward and admitted to it. And then what if Fanboy told them that they did nothing wrong, and then he sent them free t-shirts and gifts? That would be absolutely fucking insane, wouldn't it? Because that would make him a huge fucking liar. Well, that's exactly what he did. On January 31st, 2017, the people responsible finally came forward and took responsibility, and surprise, surprise, they were his longtime supporters. And Fanboy not only didn't admonish them, he completely reversed course and told them that they did nothing wrong. And then he asked them for their addresses so he could send them free t-shirts and gifts. Absolutely fucking insane. This isn't guilt by association. This is guilt by direct encouragement. And Patreon is explicitly profiting from and funding this rape list bullshit. And in case you think these were just some random trolls posting on Reddit, they even called into Fanboy's show to apologize. But Fanboy wouldn't let them. He told them, and directly this time, that they did nothing wrong.
You've been intimately connected with the rape list. The 8chan list. Oh yeah, Big Bad Ben's got the original scoop from the get-go. Is that right?
That is 100% correct. I was there, and I know personally who did it. Now, will I give out their name? No, they're a very close friend of mine. And I've already talked with you personally about this.
I sent you both a bunch of free shit when you told me about this the first time.
Turned out okay.
And honestly, it was cowardly as shit for us. I mean, the friends still won't come forward. I understand.
No, it's not. It's not, because you didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah.
You did nothing.
So Fanboy pretended that this was so horrifying, so disgusting, and so damaging and malicious that he looked into suing me for it.
This is in no way tied to the show.
But then when he got caught, he changed his tune from how horrifying it was to it was no big deal, and even rewarded the people who did it with gifts. This is one way in which someone manipulative can gaslight you. First, they deny it happened. Second, if you prove it happened, they deny responsibility. Third, if you prove responsibility, then they deny it was wrong to begin with. And finally, when you point out that they're being inconsistent, they'll blame you for it and say that you deserved it. As for the rape list itself, how serious is a threat like that? Well, it's hard to say. But if it were just an anonymous rape list, that would be bad enough. But it wasn't. They also doxed my girlfriend at the time, along with threatening to rape her. So it felt a little bit more serious. It's one thing to make a rape threat. It's another to make a rape threat and then post someone's private contact information. And even if it's unlikely, try seeing how comforting it is to tell your girlfriend that there's only a small percentage chance that she's going to get raped by a stalker's hate mob. But then one day, everything changed. In August of 2019, a mass shooter killed 9 people in Dayton, Ohio. And when investigators looked into him, turned out that he also had a rape list.
This morning, learning more about the suspected gunman in Dayton, Ohio, identified as 24-year-old Connor Betts. High school classmates said Betts was once suspended for compiling a hit list of those he wanted to kill and a rape list of girls that he wanted to assault.
This isn't satire, comedy, or performance art. They're targeting real people. If you create a list of people you want to murder or sexually assault, that could constitute criminal intent and you should be investigated for it. Every time one of these tragedies occur, people always ask if there were signs. This shooter had a rape list. The only other place I've ever heard of such a thing is in the stalker's hate mob. I'd say it's time that we start taking these red flags seriously. Fanboy knows who these scumbags are, and he has their names and addresses because he mailed them gifts, but he refuses to disclose their names. But Fanboy's false victimhood campaign in theatrics didn't end there. He also accused me of calling him a rape apologist. After my short 3.5-minute video came out, he went on to paint himself as a poor victim of cancel culture by telling people that I called him a, quote, rape apologist.
Maddox said I was a rape apologist. Rape apologist. Rape apologist. Calling me a rape apologist? A rape apologist. Like the worst thing you can be in LA. Rape apologist. Now I'm a full fucking blown rape apologist. Rape apologist.
When I got outed as a rape apologist.
Except there's just one problem. I've never called him that. Not once. In fact, in my entire career with over 20 years of writing and over a decade of producing videos and podcasting, I've never called anyone a rape apologist. And one of the main reasons is because I don't even know what the fuck it means. When I Googled it, even Google doesn't have a clear definition. The closest thing I could find to one is someone who thinks rape is okay. I don't believe Fanboy thinks rape is okay. But I do believe he thinks that if a woman is raped, it's her problem. And that isn't putting my words in his mouth non-consensually. Those are his words. In fact, he said as much 2 years later.
Be like a regular, decent person is kind of the...
No.
Be a regular,
No, you know what? I totally disagree. What? Just be honest. It's your pussy. It's your fucking problem. We got a system of law in here, but the idea that we as a community are supposed to be this protective of women and their pussies is a fucking lie. Because it's so easy to say, yeah, I'm an ally,
like,
but I get the point. It's much more effective for everybody to say the truth. Your pussy, your fucking problem.
I get the point. Like, are we supposed to be, like, confronting people in bars left and right?
Yes, I've done it. My friends have done it. I've seen strangers do it. It's not that hard. If you see someone doing something shady or trying to put something in someone's drink, you get off your dead ass, step up, and do the right fucking thing. But the assumption here is that rape happens to women because they're weaker. In fact, his co-host even said as much.
A man is bigger and stronger and most likely
and smarter.
Going to subdue a woman.
Wow, what a hot take. Except it's dumb as shit because every single person can be the victim of sexual assault. Even tough guys who think that they're in complete control of what they drink. And it's not as rare as you might think. Take, for example, Reynhard Sinaga, the most prolific rapist in British history, who assaulted over 200 people. But here's the catch. All his victims were men. Every single one of them. He's not even particularly strong. He was just able to use date rape drugs like many rapists do. But ironically, because Fanboy accused me of calling him a rape apologist so much, people started looking into his past and found all sorts of articles he'd written that downplayed rape, and these were articles I wasn't even aware of at the time we were friends. Like this one where he says a guy who fucks a drunk girl passed out in his bed isn't a rapist, he's just a dick. Get over it. And this one where he says sexual harassment doesn't exist and women can quit if they don't like it. And this one called date rape is a myth, where he calls drug rape victims lying whores and puts the phrase rape victims in quotes all throughout the article. Now you might be wondering, well, maybe this is satire, right? Except it's not. Because the point of satire is to expose some folly by using sarcasm or humor. If you look closely at the bottom of his articles, he links to sources to back up his claims. That's not satire, that's a thesis. And if he's so fucking worried about people thinking he's a rape apologist, whatever the hell that means, maybe he should stop saying shit like this.
I mean, it's not my kid. I don't fucking care.